Hello. This is the second time I've done this video, but because YouTube screwed up. But I haven't done a video in a while, so I decided to do just a brief list of annoying trite statements that I've heard way too many times. Um, I just so I wrote a script, a little list of the statements that I'll read here. Okay, the first trite statement. Humanity is on a steady decline into either sin, stupidity, or ineptitude, but one day either God or people will get sick of it and will have an apocalypse or revolution, and utopia will reign afterward. People are just so fake these days, and they always say this as if deception was just invented. Um, we're all turning. These next two are basically similar. They're usually said at the same time. We're all turning into a bunch of automatons. No one is authentic anymore. We don't even know what authentic means, but um, in the past, everything was better, and that's similar to the first statement. People in Africa would love to enjoy whatever it is you are not enjoying, so enjoy it or you are ungrateful. Um, Women don't like sex, men love sex, and that's the premise of every sitcom and most of the most of the stand-up comics in the United States, at least. Um, not most of the good ones though. The troops died for your freedom, and freedom isn't free. Atheists can't be moral. Give peace a chance. I do not have a problem with pacifists, but I think that a lot of yuppies wear peace signs without any understanding of the relevant issues with pacifism. I would wager that the majority of them would say that they think that World War II is necessary, even though their shirts testify otherwise. The peace sign has become more of a brand than a symbol. Philosophy is just about, this is the next statement, philosophy is just about abstract nonsense that has no bearing on the actual world, and science is just about fiddling around in labs. I just watched PZ Myers on his blog posted a link to a website that had a video of um, this Nightline story about how this guy who he listened to Iron Maiden and everything, and he had a family um, that I think his three daughters were killed in a fire, and the judicial system in Texas, of course, was convinced that he committed arson um, because they had walked around in the house and they had noticed that they they saw a pentagram symbol on the floor. The fire burned in that pattern, so they assumed that that meant that gasoline was poured into a star pattern. And but then they later on, so they convicted this guy of arson, and they said that he had killed his three daughters by intentionally putting by getting the house on fire, and so he he was executed, and later on they had fire scientists look at the pictures of the inside of the house and everything, and they said that this wasn't arson, this is just your classic fire, and that star pattern had nothing to do with Satanism or whatever. And the judge literally said in the interview in Nightline that they thought this guy was a Satanist because he had tattoos of skulls and he was in Iron Maiden, and um, so the Nightline interviewer asked him, well, do you feel guilty about putting a man to death when the science says that it wasn't a arson, it was just your typical fire? And he said, well, these scientists, they need to get out of their labs and look at the real world every once in a while because I know what I saw. And that was basically what he said. And it's just this there's this just ridiculous idea that if you're being really careful about forming beliefs or really careful about investigating the evidence, that you must be somehow rather than more, rather than closer to the truth, he must be farther from the truth, because us us normal people who know about the real world know that fire just doesn't burn in a star pattern for no reason. It was just that similar to the statement I just read. So anyway, this is it's related to the idea that we just need to trust our gut and we know what's right. Glenn Beck loves this idea, and he thinks that all we need is our gastronomic compass to guide our thought, rather than extremely careful reasoning and analysis of the evidence. So obviously this list is not comprehensive. You could go on and on with trite statements, but I'm not sure exactly why I made this video, but I hope it provided a little entertainment, and I'll try to make videos more often in the future for my handful of subscribers. Thank you for watching.